Lazarick Homestead. Real people. Real living.
Hey everybody, it's Lee from Lazarick Homestead, and I figured I would take you along because I have a lot of eggs that I bought from a lady up the street that has chickens. And I was watching a TV show, Under the Dome, and I just had this idea, so I wanted to get to it. I did a video a long time ago where I froze them in baggies, and I did them without breaking the yolk, and they just didn't do well. So this one, with the price of eggs right now, I figured, you know what, these have been in my fridge for quite a while, so I want to get them, and I just bought another 4 dozen from her. And we were eating them a lot, but we're not so much right now. So I want to get them out of the fridge where they have the danger of going bad and freeze them. So I figured I'd take you along so that I can get these ones frozen and put up and bring the newer stuff upstairs. All right, let's do it. The first thing I'm going to do is I put some cold water in here, and I'm going to check to make sure these are all good. I had a couple the other day that had been sitting for quite a while, and they were different color shells. They were a lighter shell, so something made me question it. And when I checked them in the water, you put cold water, and if they rise to the top, that means they're no good. So these ones are all good. I'm just going to double check before I start freezing them. And when they start standing up, that means they're going. When they lay flat all the way, it means they're fine. So if they start floating, that means they're definitely no good. So these ones are all okay. And this will save, you know, I'm going to do them in scrambled bunches. Different, you know, enough for when we're all eating at the same time, like on a weekend when I'm making eggs for everybody. And then I'll make some in smaller amounts. But these are all good. So I'm going to get those put off to the side. Then we'll check these. And I still have, I think 3 or 4 dozen that we just purchased from her last week. So, just want to make sure they're all good. And then, if I can keep purchasing from her, I'll have a good stash in the freezer. For when, or if this bird flu situation goes bad, from worse, you know, than it is now, and she's selling to other people, or she's just not selling because she needs to keep them for her family, we'll at least have eggs. I'll do some in single servings so that if I need one for, you know, a cake mix or something, I'll have it. So, the last time I did them single inside a baggie without breaking the yolk, and I realized when I tried to thaw them out that it didn't go well. The yolk, they weren't good for frying, but they're good for scrambled eggs and baking. So, I'm going to get my set up here, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I stirred up 6 eggs, and I'll label that on the bag, 6 eggs. I found the last time I did this, I just put them in baggies without breaking the yolk, and then when I tried to cook with them, the yolk was hard. And I did some research, and everybody was saying you have to stir them. So when you freeze eggs, they're pretty much only good for baking and for scrambled eggs. You won't get to be able to make a fried egg with the whole yolk like you did before. So, this time, I am scrambling them up. And we're going to put them in here. And I'll label it 6 eggs. I'm putting them in these bags first, so I can get most of the air out of them. And then I'm going to vac seal them. It's just easier for me. I do this with my meats too. I will put them in baggies and then vac seal after I get all the air out. I was going to use my super trays, but I don't think I'm going to need to. Just going to get all this air out. As much air as I can get out. As much air as I can get out. Six eggs. And today is the 27th. That's what happens with me. I'll be doing something or sitting down or watching something, and then something just pops into my head, so I start doing it. So I'm going to lay these in my freezer on a tray or a container. And let them freeze. And then I'm going to vac seal. But that way, when I use my vac seal bags, I can reuse them over and over again because they're in these bags, and these are the ones touching the food. So, you know what? Before I do that, I'll do another 6 eggs. That way, if we ever want, if I'm going to have a big breakfast, I can pull one of these out. And that'll be enough for all of us. But if I need one for a brownie mix and I only need 1 egg, I'll make some with just 1 egg in them too. So, oh gosh, I don't even know what I'm doing here, guys. Yes, I was watching Under the Dome. Watched it years ago when it came out. And then I had a chance to go to a lady's house that was giving away free DVDs. And she had the whole series, so I got that. And I've been wanting to watch it. So I put it in. Oh, this one's no good. That's why you do it separately. See, I just wasted all those eggs. Don't do what I did, guys. I forgot to get a separate bowl. So let me wash this out. So you want to break them into a separate bowl. Oh yeah, that smelled awful. Awful. Wow, that was no good. So I'm glad I'm doing that because I didn't want, my son to eat that. Woo, rotten smell. Yeah, bad. So we're going to start doing that over again. So we'll break them into this bowl. That's what you're supposed to do. Break them into one bowl, especially if you need more than 1 egg. Whew, wow, I had never ever come across that before. 1. Wow, Wow, I've never ever come across that. 2, 3. So even though it didn't float to the top, it was no good. 4. Wow. 5. That's why if you're doing recipes with multiple eggs, you crack them in one bowl first, so you're not wasting all of them. Because now I just had to lose 5 other eggs because that one went in there. And I know better, and I just forgot. Okay, so that's 5. This is 6. So I'm going to put a dash of salt in there. And we're going to scramble that. I'm learning as I go, guys. I had done over 120 baggies of eggs the last time, and I had just broke them into the baggie and didn't pierce the yolk. And then I tried to make a fried egg, and it just did not work. So I learned now you have to, when you freeze eggs, it's pretty much for recipes or just scrambled eggs, not fried eggs. So here's another 6 eggs. Fresh clean bowl. Fresh clean fork. There you go. So I'm going to keep on putting these in baggies, get them into the freezer. I will have to rotate the baggies so they freeze, because the bottom layer won't freeze as much. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I switched to this Pyrex so that it's easier to pour in. And I've come across 2 more eggs that were no good. So check your eggs, guys. Even I don't know how long she had them before she sold them to me, but you can't be guaranteed good eggs just because you're getting them from your home or from a person that's selling them. She did tell me in a note one day that she sent with my eggs that if I had any bad ones to let her know, so I do have to let her know. Just going to keep going along. See, that don't look too great. This one just looks funky, so I'm not going to keep that. I'm not taking any kind of chances. We're going to just dump that down the sink. And I'm going to use a different bowl to crack them in. Each time I've come across a bad one, I've just taken a new bowl. So No chance. No taking chances. Do one more. Oh, see, now this one's got a lot of blood in it. So, I'm not going to keep that one either. I'm not going to keep that one either. We're just going to put some salt in here. Stir this up. At least now they'll be frozen and they can't go bad on me. So I'm going to label this bag and I'm going to put 5 eggs on this one because I can't remember now. 5 eggs. 1, 27, 25. I'm glad I checked these. And I have 2 more here that I'm just going to do in a separate baggie with just 2 in it. Okay. So, let me get rid of this one too. Then I have some dishes to do. One, and this is the last one. Now I'm going to go down and check the ones I picked up the other day, because it doesn't make sense to let them sit in the fridge without checking them. So we're going to do 2 eggs in this baggie, and that way if I need it for a recipe, I have a baggie with just 2 in it. So we'll do 2 eggs. One, 27, 25. I could have used a smaller bag. I probably should have. Next ones, if I do any more tonight, I will do the smaller snack size bags. Didn't even think of that. But we're going to get all the air out. Alright, and we're going to get these into the freezer. And we'll be back. Alright, so I'm doing some baggies with just 1 in them. That way, you know, if I have a recipe that just calls for 1 egg, I have it. It's always easier to, you know, have a baggie with 1 egg than have a baggie with 2 eggs and only need half of it. So, I'm going to lay that in there. I'll do a couple with 2 eggs as well, but for right now, we're just doing some with 1. And that way, I have just enough for a recipe. There we go. be back. Alright guys, so these are my baggies of frozen eggs. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get a freezer bag. Now you can either vac seal these or just throw them in a freezer bag. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab a freezer bag. A gallon freezer bag. Let's see what I can fit in there. I might have a couple, so we're gonna lay these in here. These are the ones that have 6 eggs. Now, when I want to make a meal, like a big breakfast, I'll have especially if the egg prices just continue to rise, or that bird flu wipes it out even more than it is. Well, then I'll have these that I can use before my freeze-dried eggs. So all these are, this one here is 2 eggs. 2 eggs. 2 eggs. So we'll put, because some recipes may call for 2 eggs. And I still got some more eggs to go and do. And these are all 1 egg packages. But you just throw them in some warm water or some cold water to thaw out. And there you have it. My fingertips are starting to freeze. If I feel the need to vac seal these, I will. But I think they'll be alright just like this. So down in the freezer these will go. And that is how you freeze eggs. Now, again, those would be good for baking and scrambled eggs. These would not be good if you wanted a whole fried egg, Like I like my eggs with the yolk dripping when I fry them, but you couldn't do that with this. I tried freezing whole eggs in a baggie, and it didn't work. The yolk just stayed hard, and it was not good at all. It was not edible. To me, it wasn't edible. I've tried adding salt into them when I did that, and some people said, oh, just add some salt, and the yolk will soften up. It didn't soften for me. So I don't even bother with that. This is just because of the price of eggs now and everything going on. It's a little backup plan.